Hello everyone and a very good morning to all of you and welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep, the most comprehensive preparation app for all exams. So as we all know, from Monday to Thursday 11 a.m. in the morning, we come up with the Hindu analysis. Today is 21st March, that is Thursday, and we are here with the Hindu analysis of Thursday. So if I'm audible and visible, just write in the comments, yes sir, you're audible, so that we can start our session. Hello everyone. Okay. So on the first page, these are the articles. एक तो है कि the election dates and all. So ये तो आपको you can read it your own. This is an article talking about in Supreme Court Center defense appointment of new election commissioners ahead of Lok Sabha polls. Okay, so I hope you are aware. Very soon we'll be having a Lok Sabha elections. And recently the government has appointed 2 election commissioners. And the President of India, I would say, has appointed 2 election commissioners. And the matter is actually in the Supreme Court. Will explain why it is. And the central government has defended it. Now, what exactly is the reason why it is in the news? So first of all, you have to understand that last year, I think in March, this was a judgment of Supreme Court, Anup Bandwal case. Okay. Now, so first of all, you have to understand that an election commission is actually Election Commission of India is a 3-member body, right? Comprising of 1 chief election commissioner and 2 election commissioners. Okay, so overall it is a 3-member body. Okay. Now the thing is that so what happened was that earlier the president used to appoint the chief election commissioners or the 2 election commissioners on the advice of Council of Ministers. Council of Ministers means primarily the Prime Minister and his ministers. Now, so basically, and chief election commissioner and election commissioner is supposed to be party neutral. Okay. And that is why people filed a petition that there should be a neutral committee which should recommend instead of the Council of Ministers. So the Supreme Court in Anup Bandwal case said that the president should appoint the chief election commissioners and the 2 election commissioners on the advice of select committee. And this select committee would comprise of 3 people. The first is the Prime Minister of India as the chairman of that select committee. The next is leader of opposition in Lok Sabha. And the third one would be the Chief Justice of India. So it was considered as a comparatively neutral because if you see it, 1 is from the government, 1 is from the opposition, and 1 is from the judiciary. So this committee was considered to be primarily more neutral in nature. Now what happened was a bill was passed after this judgment. That bill is called as Election Commissioner, Chief Election Commissioner and Election Commissioner's Appointment, Condition of Services and Terms of Office Act 2023. Okay. So this was passed, and what happened was in this, actually, this judgment was slightly changed, and instead of CGI, it talked about cabinet minister. So a lot of reports, news articles started coming in that perhaps the Supreme Court judgment has been changed and all. So these things were in the news. So now we are having the Prime Minister, leader of opposition, and cabinet minister. Now why people have raised the concern? Because see, these 2 are actually from the same ruling government. And here is one from opposition party. So now, but this matter, the new select committee or the new parliamentary bill, which has become an act after being passed, was challenged in the Supreme Court, but Supreme Court did not state. Supreme Court ने रोक नहीं लगाया. Okay, that is what you should be knowing it. ठीक है. So तो अब हुआ क्या? उसके बाद क्या हुआ? Let's understand this. Now, few months back, so these were the election commissioners. Rajiv Kumar is the chief election commissioner. Anup Chandra Pandey was one of the election commissioners, and Mr. Arun Goel was another election commissioner. So Mr. Anup Chandra Pandey, he retired on 14th February this year. And Arun Goel resigned. Instead of retired, he resigned actually in his midterm on 9th March. So these 2 posts were actually vacant. So only 1 chief election commissioner was left. And recently in 15th March, because these 2 were actually posts were vacant, these 2 new election commissioners were appointed. So these 2 are the 2 election commissioners, and their name are Mr. Sukhbir Singh Sandhu and Ganesh Kumar. Okay, so these 2 you should be knowing it. Now, so this was appointed, these two are appointed through the select committee according to the parliamentary law, ये वाले law के हिसाब से, where actually the select committee would comprise of the prime minister, the leader of opposition in Lok Sabha, and the cabinet minister instead of CGI. Okay. Now, so the people have filed a petition and the matter is being heard that actually, if you see this select committee, there are two people from government and one from opposition. So it must be, that is what the allegation is, that they might be favorable to the government and all. So these were the things. And when the matter went to the Supreme Court, that is what the government has said. Center Defense Appointment says government refutes charges that it had rushed to fill the vacancies with favorable appointees. So government refute क्या है? Refute मतलब reject क्या है? Government has rejected the claim that the favorable officers are being appointed as the two election commissioners and all. Because ideally, chief election commissioner and the two election commissioners are supposed to be neutral, because they are supposed to conduct free and fair election, and that is why the neutrality, the bureaucratic neutrality is must, so these are the things being talked about. ठीक है, I hope आप समझ गए होगे, है ना. तो ये बता रहे Karun Goyal resigns, select committee recommends two names, है ना, the two names, है ना. Anup Chandra Pandey retired on 14th February. So these are the things we have discussed it. Okay, so these are the two new election commissioners. Okay, so the people filed a petition that it is hasty and opaque and it was done very fast and all. Countering to that, the government has said that it was needed because the election is very near. And hence, the two new election commissioners has to be appointed as soon as possible. Otherwise, it would have been very difficult for one chief election commissioner to hold the election. So he needs other two also, the support of that. So petition has been filed by Association for Democratic Reforms. So this is the same organization which has filed petition against electoral bond also. Okay. Argued that the new law, the Chief Election Commissioner and Election Commissioners Act, aided the government by giving a dominant role and also. These were the arguments given by those who have challenged this appointment. Okay. ठीक है, तो ये मैंने बता दिया कि instead of CGI it would be the cabinet minister and it is a fundamental fallacy and all. ठीक है, so these were the things. So if you're watching our class, go to the description box. There is a one-on-one counseling session. Click on this link. You will get this Google form and everyone should fill this Google form. ठीक है? Okay, let's move on further. So from 12th April to 21st April, we'll be having an All India Open Mock for MHCT 2024. So do attempt it. That would be very, very beneficial for you. So download our app, go to CLAT section. You can attempt it. अच्छा, एक चीज और है. Today at 6 PM we'll be having a session, free session, where I'll be conducting a quiz on recent current affairs. ठीक है. So to join it, that would also be very, very beneficial. ठीक है. The next is Supreme Court grants bail to Enforcement Directorate officer. So Ankit Tiwari actually was arrested by the Tamil Nadu Directorate of Vigilance and Anti-Corruption Bureau in a bribery case. And he was arrested, and also now Ankit Tiwari, the Enforcement Directorate officer, has been given the bail. So just have an idea. Okay. Yes, just before moving on, download our app, go to CLAT section, click on talk to our counselor. You will get to know more about our courses. And on 31st March at 11 AM in the morning, we'll be conducting a scholarship test. If you qualify it, you will get up to 90% off. And year 2025 ka comprehensive course is there. 380 plus hours of live session, 300 plus recorded videos, etc. is there. So if you have any query, call on this number. And this is the 2024 test series. Okay, course. Let's move on further to the next one. India's voter deserve a bond of probity. Okay. So it has been written by Mr. Ashok Lavasa. Okay. And Ashok Lavasa has earlier served as Finance Secretary of India, then Election Commissioner of India, then Vice President of Asian Development Bank. Okay. So he has served at important positions. Okay. So he's a former IAS officer. India voters deserves a bond of probity. Probity का मतलब क्या होता है? Probity मतलब होता है proved professional integrity. Proved professional integrity. आप पूछोगे सर what is integrity? So integrity means rock solid honesty. Rock solid honesty. So honesty even in the worst circumstances. देखो integrity का term होता है, इसका मतलब होता है honesty even in the adverse circumstances. है ना? ठीक है. इन एकदम एडवर्स सर्कमस्टांस में कोई आदमी ईमानदार है तो दैट्स इंटीग्रिटी है ना. और प्रोबेटी बताते हैं प्रोफेशनल लाइफ में आप इंटीग्रिटी हो, यानी एकदम स्ट्रांग लेवल की ईमानदारी हो प्रोफेशनल लाइफ में, दैट्स द आइडिया ऑफ प्रोबेटी है ना. ओके, सो इंडियन वोटर डिजर्व्स अ बॉन्ड ऑफ प्रोबेटी, यानी है ना, दैट इज व्हाट द ऑथर इज सेइंग. So he's talking about actually the electoral bonds. There are few basic tenets of good laws and public policies: law of ambiguity, enforceability, predictability, accountability. All laws or policies are framed with the purpose of addressing a public issues and all. So इसे बता रहे हैं. Now he's actually here focusing on EBS, electoral bond scheme again. ठीक है. So वो बता रहे हैं कि there was a budget in 2017-18, यानी फरवरी 2017 में जो बजट पेश किया होगा उसके बारे में बता रहे हैं. ठीक है. The finance minister at that time had said that to eliminate black money is actually the objective of the government. Okay, so February 2017, है ना. So and there was a problem, and even after 70 years of independence, the country has not been able to evolve a transparent method of funding to political parties, which is vital. So yes, it is true that even before the electoral bond scheme, there was no actually transparent way of political funding. So if X wants to donate to a political party ABC, there has to be a transparent way, है ना. The people should know it. So even before this electoral bond scheme, it was not there, and the attempt was made in the past. The Companies Act and all, है ना. The situation has only proved marginally since these provisions are brought, and all political parties continue to receive most of their funds through anonymous donations, है ना. So यही बता रहे हैं कि वो उस स्पीच में कहा गया था. In that speech in 2017, it was said that most of the cases political parties gets donation from anonymous funding. Anonymous means nameless. And so you will not get to know, the public will not get to know that this political party has got from which person this amount of fund and all. So this we are talking about 2017 speech. उस टाइम पर बात हो रही है. And the cause for the problem was reluctant in donating through checks. Okay. Now the problem was people were those who wanted to donate to the political party, they were not willing to donate via check. Because check क्या होता है? Check से अगर आप donate करो तो white money होगा पहली तो, है ना, first thing. And it gets recorded, है ना, योर नेम एंड ऑल. जब आप चेक से पे करोगे या नेफ्ट से एमपीएस से ऑनलाइन ट्रांजैक्शन करोगे तो रिकॉर्ड होता है ना. सो द पीपल वेर नॉट विलिंग टू पे इट बाय चेक, रादर दे डिड नॉट वांट टू डिस्क्लोज देयर आइडेंटिटी, है ना, एंड इंटेल दैट वाज कॉन्सिक्वेंस इन द फ्यूचर, ताकि उनको कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं हो फ्यूचर में. दैट इज व्हाई पीपल वेर एक्चुअली विलिंग टू एक्चुअली डोनेट इट थ्रू कैश एंड अदर मीन्स, है ना. तो ये है कि द फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर प्रपोज एट दैट टाइम EBS, इलेक्टोरल बॉन्ड स्कीम, दैट इट विल ब्रिंग अबाउट द ग्रेटर ट्रांसपेरेंसी एंड अकाउंटेबिलिटी. सो एट दैट टाइम द फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर हैज सेड दैट इट विल ब्रिंग मोर ट्रांसपेरेंसी एंड ऑल, and it will prevent future generation from black money. Okay, so the outcome he expected was that this will change the color of the money. Well, change the color of the money means instead of black money, the white money will be actually there, है ना. That was the concept, है ना. Black money मतलब होता है money earned through illegitimate way or money in which the income tax has not been given on which, है ना. So these are the things. There can be no gain saying and all. खैर तो उस टाइम पे होता ही था कि if you are paying less than 20,000 cash, you are not supposed to disclose your identity. जैसे अगर आप 15,000 rupees if you have given it cash to a political party, है ना, so you are not supposed to reveal your identity किसने दिया. This is how black money was allegedly finding its way to the accounts of political parties that enjoyed income tax exemption. ठीक है, तो लोग 15,000 हजार करके 18,000 हजार करके they used to give it to the political parties, and they are actually, the political parties are income tax exempted. They are not supposed to file the returns and pay the income tax on these, है ना. The fact that crores of rupees were spent during election before and after EBS is a separate and serious malaise, and no law has been able to cure it. हाँ, एक चीज तो है कि thousands of crores of rupees, we don't know the exact numbers, but crores of rupees are spent in elections. This everyone knows. जितना कागज पर आता है उससे कहीं ज्यादा खर्चा होता है, पता भी नहीं होता लोगों को, बट यस, वेरी ह्यूज अमाउंट ऑफ एक्सपेंडिचर हैपेंस, एंड दिस इज कंसिडर्ड एज बैड फॉर मेनी रीजंस. व्हाई? द फर्स्ट इज इट मींस अ लॉट ऑफ ब्लैक मनी वुड बी देयर, इतना पैसा, है ना. सेकेंड थिंग इज कि if heavy expenditure is happening in election and not on development process, so there are a lot of problems. Unemployment is there, hunger issues are there, and people are spending huge amount of money in election. So this is of course a serious thing. It's not very ethical. The next is it is against the idea of level playing field. Now what do you mean by level playing field against the idea? Look, आप ऐसे समझो, जैसे for example, let's say there's a let's say there are two persons, A and B, both are fighting election, and he is very rich. He's having let's say 100 crore money, and he's he's having only 20 lakhs in his bank. Now, the probability of A getting winning election is high. Why? Because he will use it, so he will get the pamphlet. Pamphlet छपाएंगे ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा, ठीक है? He will spend in election campaign. And this guy, हो सकता है maybe sometimes they might start giving bribes, है ना, etc. ये बेचारे के पास 20 लाख है बस बैंक में, इससे कितना कुछ कर पाएगा? So that is why the heavy expenditure in the election process violates the idea of level playing field, है ना? So it actually favors the rich, है ना? That is also the case, है ना? So the EBS 2 has not succeeded and all. अब ये बता रहे कि even electoral bond scheme के आने के बाद भी actually it's not कि the anonymous funding still happened, है ना? So that is what they are talking about, है ना? So there is no doubt that EBS created a clean channel for funds to flow from donors bank to the political parties bank. हाँ, एक चीज ये था कि कैश से डोनेशन नहीं हो रहा था, है ना? इलेक्टोरल बॉन्ड से हो रहा था, तो इसमें क्या है कि सब चीज रिकॉर्ड हो रही है ना? कि एसबीआई से आपने खरीदा, फिर आपने पॉलिटिकल पार्टी को दिया, वो एसबीआई को. So everything is getting recorded, but it is not coming in the public, है ना? Things are getting recorded. It's not like cash, but it is not coming in the public, है ना? So that is why the Supreme Court struck it down, है ना? तो ये सब बता रहे हैं. Now, एक दो चीज और बताएं कि जब recently the SBI has released the data, so some of the concerns were कि जैसे मान ली कोई XYZ कंपनी है, so let's say its revenue is 100 करोड़ and it is donating let's say 300 or 400 करोड़, जितना उसका फायदा नहीं हो रहा उससे ज्यादा वो डोनेट कर रही है. So that is why this question was being raised, that if a company is earning less amount of money and it is donating a huge amount of money to the political parties, then of course this question was also being raised, है ना? So these are the things being talked about, है ना? Defenders of electoral bond scheme have argued that those who are supporting electoral bond, they say that the source of the funds used to purchase the bond, this would be easy to investigate, है ना? है ना? मतलब कि अगर किसी को शक है तो उसको इन्वेस्टिगेशन किया जा सकता है, बट यस, हु विल कंडक्ट इन्वेस्टिगेशन एंड ऑल्सो दीज आर द थिंग्स, ठीक है? तो यही सब अपना क्वेश्चन रेज कर रहे हैं. खैर, सो मेन जो चीज था वो जिस पर चैलेंज किया गया था वो ट्रांसपेरेंसी पे था कि द पीपल शुड गेट टू नो, बिकॉज राइट टू इंफॉर्मेशन इज अ फंडामेंटल राइट अकॉर्डिंग टू द सुप्रीम कोर्ट ऑफ इंडिया, ठीक है? सो इफ एक्स इज गिविंग लेट्स से 50 करोड़ रुपीज एज अ पॉलिटिकल पार्टी डोनेशन टू लेट्स से एबीसी पार्टी, द वोटर्स शुड नो इट. जनता को पता होना चाहिए कि एक्स ने एबीसी पार्टी को दिया. ओके, सो दिस इज एक्चुअली द पीपल शुड नो इट बिकॉज राइट टू इंफॉर्मेशन इज अ फंडामेंटल राइट. Similarly, the Supreme Court has also talked, this was also being talked about. ये भी मैंने बताया था quid pro quo. So there might be this, इसको कहते हैं something for something. जैसे for example, जैसे X has donated to political party ABC, let's say 50 crore, and this political party comes to power and becomes a chief minister. His party makes a chief minister in the state. Now, most likely, this party will give some benefit to this X in the future, maybe through contract or some other means. इसे कहते हैं quid pro quo. So this word was also coming in the news again and again. That is why I'm highlighting it. ठीक है? एक साइड में आर्टिकल थी ferocious friends while allowing for a choice of pets their raising should not be unbridled. अब देखो ये क्या है? This is actually an issue of problem of street dogs in India. So there are a lot of cases where actually the roving canines, मतलब जिसके दांत बहुत तेज होते हैं वो वाले dog, they are actually having a strong teeth. They are actually attacking the residents and all, and a lot of problems have been raised. In fact, the matter has gone to the courts as well. ठीक है? कुछ चीज ऐसे भी है कि we need to find out whether certain breeds of dogs are more ferocious, more dangerous than others. ठीक है? अब से प्रॉब्लम जैसे आपने देखा होगा, ये सब न्यूज काफी आ रही थी. Pet dogs bites doctor on face in Noida, owner booked. Similarly, dog attacks bites woman in Noida housing society. ये सब काफी नहीं, देखो जनवरी का है ना? German Shepherd breeding dog was there. Then these things, मतलब कई बार क्या होता है कि people actually start fighting each other in the society because of the dogs and all. So जैसे एक ये थे Parag Desai, and he was a very successful businessman. He died of brain hemorrhage. Why? Because he was doing a morning walk and a street dog actually chased him. तो जब उन्होंने भागा, तो जब वो भागे तो actually he was running and he fell, and because of head injury he died. So यही कंसर्न है कि एक्चुअली देखो यहाँ पे 2-year-old girl mauled to death by 5 stray dogs in Delhi, locals allege negligence. So this is देखो ये 26 फरवरी की न्यूज है. So these are the things being talked कि actually the dogs are actually attacking the child and all, ठीक है, the people and all. So these includes mix and cross breeds. तो ये सब बता रहे हैं कि of course they need to find out कि क्या separate बताना चाहिए कि these are the ferocious dogs, these are not, है ना? And dogs must be sterilized to ensure that further breeding does not happen. इसमें बहुत सारी चीज होती है, बहुत सारे एनिमल राइट्स एक्टिविस्ट एक्चुअली रेज द कंसर्न So many animals right activists says है ना that you cannot, I mean, they support the dogs and all, or the animals and all. On the other hand, people say ki, see, the dogs are attacking us, so this is our right also, that you cannot, I mean, the right to life. So these are some of the debates that happen. Now next, eliminating disease one region at a time. अच्छा, एक question है, which of the following is considered as father of immunology? John Salk, Edward Jenner, Louis Pasteur, Alexander Fleming. What is the right answer? इस तरह क्वेश्चन आता है, तो इस आर्टिकल में इससे रिलेटेड चीजें डिस्कस्ड है, दैट इज व्हाई आई एम आस्किंग. फादर ऑफ इम्यूनोलॉजी या वैक्सीनेशन? The right answer is yes, BYJU'S on right. Edward Jenner, he was the first to design a vaccine or to develop a vaccine for smallpox, and a smallpox is the first disease to be eliminated in the world, है ना? ठीक है. Alexander Fleming is famous for coming up with penicillin. ये सब पूछते हैं एग्जाम में. Louis Pasteur is famous for pasteurization of milk, जो क्लीनिंग ऑफ मिल्क होता है ना. So एडवर्ड जेनर के बारे में आप देख सकते हो ना. फादर ऑफ इम्यूनोलॉजी इज ऑल्सो कॉल्ड, है ना. क्रिएटेड स्मॉलपॉक्स वैक्सीन, है ना. Alexander Fleming came up with the concept of an antibiotic known as penicillin. ये भी कई बार एग्जाम में पूछा था. He got Nobel Prize in Physiology in 1945. Yes, B is the right answer. Yes, Priya Chavan, you all were right. तो अब देखो यही बात करें, द कार्टर सेंटर एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है which actually fight against diseases and all, and it's a non-government organization. So he's quoting it. He's a former health secretary of Kerala. He's quoting it. अब इतना नंबर्स वगैरह नहीं याद रखना है, ठीक है. So he's talking about elimination and eradication of disease recently reported, है ना. गिनिया वॉर्म की बात कर रहे हैं. That was close to eradication. This would be the second disease after smallpox. दिखा ना. So the first disease that was eliminated was smallpox through vaccine by Edward Jenner, है ना. इन्हीं का रोल था. And the second would be this one, Guinea worm disease. ठीक है. This is what the author is talking about. Okay, so these are the things he's talking about. ठीक है. One disease elimination की और बात करें, it focuses elimination of transmission which targets achieving zero transmission in a defined area. एक particular area में define zero transmission होगा, so then it will be considered, है ना. तो इसमें अब बता रहे कि eradication, zero transmission में फर्क क्या है, ये सब इतना डिटेल नहीं जाना है, ठीक है. So whatever I have discussed it, that is more than enough. Now, which of the following SDG Sustainable Development Goals talks about good health and well-being? SDG 2, SDG 3, SDG 5, SDG 7. What is the right answer? कौन सा सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल्स गुड हेल्थ एंड वेलबींग की बात करता है? एनीवन? मैंने बताया था शुरू का 4-5 याद होना चाहिए. राइट आंसर इज ऑप्शन बी, एसडीजी 3, है ना. नो पॉवर्टी, जीरो हंगर, गुड हेल्थ वेलबींग, क्वालिटी एजुकेशन, जेंडर इक्वालिटी. एटलीस्ट शुरू के 5 याद हो. सो द राइट आंसर इज क्वालिटी एजुकेशन. So B is the right answer. Yes, BYJU'S, you are right. The next, India accounts for 40% of the global case load for lymphatic filariasis. ठीक है ना, इसकी बात करें जिसमें हाथ पैर मोटा हो जाता है, that's filariasis, which was targeted elimination by World Health Assembly in Resolution 1997. It is prevalent only in a few states and can be eliminated by Commission of Surveillance Vector Control. तो ये बता रहे कि इसको कैसे फाइट किया जाए. सर्वाइलेंस ध्यान देके सारा चेक करके वेक्टर कंट्रोल, ड्रग एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, मॉर्बिडिटी मैनेजमेंट से. अब इसमें इतना डिटेल नहीं जाना, ठीक है. नो नीड टू गो इन डिटेल. The important ones things I have already discussed. फिर the lure of देखो ये क्या है? This is actually talking about IPL, and it is becoming more attractive than Test or One Day International. I hope you are aware. So close to the heels of the successful conduct of Women's Premier League. Now, I hope you are aware. Since last year, we are conducting Women Premier League as well, है ना? So actually, the 17th edition will commence with the fixture, है ना? 17th edition जो IPL होगा, it will start with the match between Chennai Super Kings and Royal Challengers Bangalore at Chennai, है ना. And Women's Premier League का जो second edition हुआ, इसमें Royal Challengers Bangalore actually won it, है ना, Women's Premier League. So now this is also coming up and all. तो ये सब बता रहे हैं. Okay, Chennai Super Kings belongs to Mahendra Singh Dhoni, is its captain and all. तो ये सब है, अब इसमें इतना डिटेल नहीं जाना. Now opposite में एक आर्टिकल थी talking about the data marketplace, the next frontiers and all. इसमें कुछ चीजें जो बात करी वो जानना है. 5 ट्रिलियन इकोनॉमी, डॉलर इकोनॉमी, है ना. अब देखो currently if you see the as far as GDP nominal terms in nominal terms is concerned, the top one is US, then China. अभी जापान था and it has gone down to 4th and Germany is now 3rd. ठीक है, so ये भी पूछेंगे अभी because it is in the news. Then 5th is India. So India's actually nominal GDP is GDP is $3.73 trillion, and our target is to become $5 trillion by 2025 and actually $10 trillion by 2030 है ना, यही सब टारगेट है ना. So इसी की बात करें, this target of $5 trillion economy है ना. So the role of digitization in realizing India's vision of becoming $5 trillion cannot be overstated. हाँ, digitization is very important to ensure $5 trillion economy. Yes. Why? I hope you are aware digitization is तो सारी चीजें, बहुत सारी चीज आसान हो गई ना. It becomes very faster and all है ना. So UPI transfer, bank ticket, online education, online everything, e-health है ना, online many things are getting online. And as per NASSCOM report, data and AI can add approximately $450 to $500 billion to India's GDP by 2025 है ना. अब देखो artificial intelligence की, we are now actually in the world of artificial intelligence, so AI and all also can add around $450 to $500 billion to India's GDP है ना. So these are the things they are talking about. हाँ, now they are talking about, yes, अब जब ये सब की बात होती है तो पर्सनल डेटा की बात होना शुरू हो जाती है, पर्सनल डेटा एंड नॉन पर्सनल डेटा. ठीक है, सो ऑफ कोर्स इट बिकम्स इंपॉर्टेंट है ना. तो इसी की बात कर रहे हैं कि व्हाट इज, जैसे वो बता रहे हैं पर्सनल डेटा के लिए तो कुछ प्रोटेक्शन, देयर इज नो रेगुलेशन फॉर नॉन पर्सनल डेटा. ठीक है, तो अब इसमें देखो अब होता क्या है, जैसे पर्सनल डेटा तो आपको पता होगा, जैसे आपका नाम वगैरह हो गया, नेम, जेंडर, एज ऑफ अ पर्टिकुलर. नॉन पर्सनल डेटा जो होता है कि आपका नाम नहीं जाएगा, बट यस द ओवरऑल सर्वे विल बी कंडक्टेड. जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल मान लीजिए कंडक्ट किया गया कि स्मोकिंग कितने लोग करते हैं. So let's say 100 people में सर्वे किया गया, so 70 people are doing, 30 people are doing. In 30 का नाम नहीं जाएगा, but yes, you will get the survey that okay 30 people are smoking or something like that. So ये एक तरह का non personal data हो गया. So these are the things. तो वो बता रहे हैं कि there is no regulation for non personal data and all. खैर इसमें डिटेल नहीं जाना, but जो facts है, जो exam point of view, so that you have to understand. So right to privacy is a fundamental right under which article? Article 14, 21, 17, 22. This the Supreme Court said in KS Puttaswamy case 2017. So right to privacy is a fundamental right under, very important. Please tell me. Yes, Article 21, which says right to life, which talks about right to life. So B is the right answer. Yes, Ramesh, you are right. Priya Chavani, you are right, है ना. Top 1% Indian income share is higher now than under British rule. इसका मतलब क्या है कि actually it is saying that even the British rule so much inequality was not there. मतलब अब inequality बहुत ज़्यादा हो गया, so that is of course a serious issue and all. तो वर्ल्ड इनइक्वालिटी लैब की रिपोर्ट है, उसमें वो बता रहे हैं कि कितने परसेंट लोग, देखो बॉटम 50% जो है 46 करोड़ पॉपुलेशन है, मिडिल 40% है 37 करोड़ है. अब देखो कि टॉप 001% में 2.1% शेयर है पूरा टोटल वेल्थ का. सो दीज आर सम ऑफ द थिंग्स दे आर टॉकिंग अबाउट. Basically, they are saying that income inequality has increased and all. Now, can you please tell me the concept of minimization of concentration of wealth and reducing inequality is mentioned where? ये concept कहाँ mentioned है? Part 3, Part 4, Part 4A, Part 5 of Constitution. Of course, we are talking about Indian Constitution. कहाँ mentioned है? Anyone? बताइए. This I have taught in our paid classes. The answer is directive principle of state policy. Which article? B is the right answer. अगर आप article बता लोगे तो I will be very happy. Yes, Ramesh, Payoja, Chauhan, you all are right. Article 39 है ना. Material resource of communities so as to distribute so as to यहाँ पे देखो, the operation of the economic system does not result in the concentration of wealth है ना. And there should be equal pay for equal work for both men and women. So Article 39 talks about minimization of inequality. So B is the right answer. Yes, Priya, Chavan, Ramesh, you all are right. फिर एक और article on the mass kidnapping in Nigeria. Now इसमें इतना डिटेल नहीं जाना, but idea on this is India, this is Africa. हाँ, Article 39, yes. Payoja, Chavan, you all were right. हाँ. Here you will find Nigeria. I hope you are aware in the African countries actually there are a lot of instability, a lot of violence and all. I hope you are aware. So we are seeing there are cases where 600 people including 300 children have been kidnapped in the northeast and northwestern part since end of February. तो north east और north west इस region में यहाँ पर 600 बच्चों को किडनैप कर लिया, 600 लोगों को. एंड परहैप्स देयर इज अ मिलिटेंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन कॉल्ड एज बोको हराम व्हिच आर रिस्पांसिबल एंड ऑल. तो एक बेसिक आइडिया होना चाहिए, से पूछ सकते हो सकता मैच द फॉलोइंग. बोको हराम इज अ मिलिटेंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ऑफ विच कंट्री, फ्रॉम विच कंट्री, सो नाइजीरिया एंड ऑल. एंड देन दे आर कोटिंग यूएन हाई कमिश्नर फॉर ह्यूमन राइट्स वोल्कर तुर्क. ये मैंने कल पूछा था कि ही बिलोंग्स टू विच कंट्री, प्लीज टेल मी. Saying that he was appalled with a shocked by the recurrent mass abduction. तो shocked है कि इतने सारे लोग को abduct करके kidnap कर लिया गया. So that is of course a very serious issue. So he is actually from Austria. Austria is a country in Europe. Volker Turk, and he's a United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights since October 22. Okay. Then एक और article थी, PM speaks to Putin Zelensky. Zelensky is actually the president of Ukraine, है ना. And calls for dialogue diplomacy to end war, है ना. बातचीत करके जंग खत्म कीजिए, है ना. So PM Modi congratulated Putin also because Putin has recently won the presidential election. The presidential election happened and he congratulated him. ठीक है ना. So I hope you are aware the war is happening for the past 2 years. Russia-Ukraine war is happening and all. ठीक है. So ये सब पता होना चाहिए. A nomination for first phase of Lok Sabha election begins. So people are now filing nominations and all. एक और इलेक्शन कमीशन ने कहा है कि रिमूव पॉलिटिकल एड्स फ्रॉम पब्लिक स्पेसेस. व्हाई? बिकॉज नाउ वी आर हैविंग मॉडल कोड ऑफ कंडक्ट. तो इसमें क्या, जितने भी पॉलिटिकल एड्स है उसको पब्लिक स्पेसेस से हटाइए. ये इलेक्शन कमीशन ने सेंटर और स्टेट को कहा है दैट इट शुड नॉट बी विजिबल इन द पब्लिक एंड ऑल. ठीक है ना. सो मॉडल कोड ऑफ कंडक्ट क्या है? टू इंश्योर फ्री एंड फेयर इलेक्शंस एंड ऑल. तो उसमें बहुत सारी चीज, अगर आप चाहो तो इसको पढ़ सकते हो ना. दैट नो पार्टी शैल कैंडिडेट एनी एक्टिविटी में एग्रीवेट एग्जिस्टिंग डिफरेंसेस, है ना. तो रिलीजन कास्ट लाइंस पे डिफरेंशिएट नहीं करना है ना. No appeal to caste or communal feelings should be done from mosque, church, temple, etc. है ना. तो ये सब इलेक्शन प्रोपेगेंडा जो है मॉस्क, चर्च, टेंपल या इधर से नहीं चलाना है. ठीक है. और बहुत सारी चीज आप पढ़ लेना. सो गो एंड रीड इट. सो दीस सम ऑफ द थिंग्स. कोई भी नई स्कीम नहीं लॉन्च करना है ना. सो दीस आर सम ऑफ द थिंग्स यू शुड रीड. फिर सम ऑफ द रूल्स है ना कि पोलिंग स्टेशन से कितना दूर पर होना चाहिए, है ना. गाड़ी रुकना चाहिए एंड सिक्योरिटी गार्ड्स नहीं ले जा सकते. सो दीस आर सम ऑफ द रूल्स एंड ऑल. ओके. इरिश प्राइम मिनिस्टर लियो वरादकर अनाउंसेस रेजिग्नेशन. ये याद रखिएगा, ये चूंकि अभी न्यूज में. आयरलैंड, वेयर इज आयरलैंड? सो हियर इज इंडिया. दिस इज इंडिया, दिस इज आयरलैंड. ठीक है. आयरलैंड्स कैपिटल इज डबलिन. ओके. यस, है ना. सो हिज नेम इज लियो वरादकर. He has decided to step down as the leader of the country. He has decided to resign, and he is Ireland's first openly gay prime minister. हो सकता है ये भी पूछने एग्जाम में. And his mother is from Ireland, but father is from India. Indian origin. ठीक है. So just have an idea about it. So from 12th April to 21st April, we'll be having MHCT All India Open Mock Test. So attempt it. That would be very, very beneficial. ये 24 March को at 6 p.m. we'll be having a session with Abhimanyu sir. 27 March को this session. Today at 6 p.m. guys, I'll be meeting you with quiz. So do join me. That would be very, very beneficial for you. So thank you everyone. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.